When it comes to your personal finances, some things matter more than others, and it can be a mistake to focus on the minutiae while ignoring what I call the big rocks. So here are the 10 things that matter most in personal finance. Number one, make a high salary. People often like to downplay the impact that a high salary has on your personal finances. While it is true that a higher earner can be just as broke as a low earner, the fact remains that those with high salaries are far more likely to build real wealth and enjoy financial freedom. In many respects, doctors have already won the money game by virtue of their high salary. Number two, ensure career longevity. Longevity matters more than peak earnings. Working for $200,000 over 30 years is a superior option to working hard for 15 years at $350,000. This approach results in higher earnings, lower taxes, more time for money to grow through compounding, and a larger Social Security benefit. Prioritizing a sustainable career will contribute to building wealth. Number three, get married to the right partner for you. The single worst thing you can have happen to you financially is to get divorced. Not only do you lose half of your assets, but a typical physician usually loses a huge chunk of their income for at least a few years afterward. Staying single isn't a bad second choice, but studies generally show that married people are happier, are wealthier, and live longer than single people. Number four, insure against catastrophe. One of the dumbest things you can do in personal finance is to carry inadequate insurance. Malpractice, personal liability, disability, and if people are dependent on your income, term life insurance are absolute musts. Lots of financial devastation occurs due to failure to insure. Number five, live well below your means. Living below your means doesn't build wealth, at least not at any kind of a reasonable rate. The key is to live well below your means. Housing, as most people's largest expense, is the biggest culprit. Limiting your mortgage to 2 times your gross income will make a big difference. Number six, don't sell low. Investor behavior trumps so many of the other important aspects of investing, including keeping expenses low, asset allocation, and tax efficiency. Especially if done late in your career, overestimating your risk tolerance will sink your wealth fast. Don't sell out in the bear markets. Number seven, buy and hold a reasonable portfolio. Take the time to set up a reasonable asset allocation that allows you to take the least amount of risk to reach your financial goals. Number eight, be uncomfortable with debt. While some debt is necessary and a little leverage can be helpful at times, don't get too comfortable with it. People get into a lot more trouble with it than you might expect. Number nine, minimize educational costs. We all know that your education has a whole lot more to do with what you put into it than the name on the front of the administration building. Is the big name school actually 40 times or more better? You really got to evaluate the value you're getting for what you're spending on education for yourself and for your children. Number 10, pursue inexpensive hobbies. Hobbies like flying, boating, antique cars, and horse racing are going to put a far larger drain on your resources than knitting, mountain biking, basketball, or bridge. If there are 2 things you like to do equally well, do your wallet a favor. Choose the cheaper one. The truth is that in personal finance, there are only a few things that really matter a lot. Focus on those.
The hosts of The White Coat Investor are not licensed accountants, attorneys, or financial advisors. This podcast is for your entertainment and information only. It should not be considered professional or personalized financial advice. You should consult the appropriate professional for specific advice relating to your situation.